More
Yeah.
of a more of a
You need to
two
get a
and a
better
quarter.
toaster.
Right.
Just stick your toast in my mouth and I'll toast it for you.
Just stick it in my mouth. All right. Are you guys ready to get started?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
All right. Actually,
I'm
you guys
getting
keep
the echo
talking
now.
real quick so I can get the audio kind of fixed. So you guys just continue to talk amongst yourselves.
I love it. So running the stream on the left-hand side, and the first thing that this starts off with is Brad asking us to put the toast in his mouth. For us to
Sounds
toast
about
it. Yeah.
What's y'all's take on eggnog?
What was that?
What's y'all's take on eggnog?
I'm solidly indifferent, ambivalent.
This is Halloween, not Christmas. Can't you tell by my background? This is my Halloween
like a-
background.
Setting from Dragon Ball Z or some shit.
I'm broadcasting from Namek.
All right.
What do you think Piccolo's skin feels like?
That's...
Is he like cold-blooded, like a lizard? Is it warm? What if Piccolo came and gave you a hug?
We simply have to start, Joe. I don't want to have this conversation.
Okay, let's start. All right. Well, guys, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we last played. When did we last even get together? Was that over a year ago?
No, surely not.
Surely not.
No.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
It was last week, Joe. Jeez.
Jesus. Oh, but sorry, I suffered a traumatic brain injury in the meantime. I lost.
Have you been writing with your left hand again?
Yeah, Dace, I don't think you got to. Dace, did you get to see this?
no, I didn't have video. Well, holy shit. What were you trying to write?
Gabby wrote, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "Psychologist."
See,
I also
Joe's left brain is way dumber than his right, and when he writes his left hand, he only uses the left side of his brain.
at this point, like
So,
I actually had a weird thing the other day where I had a migraine. I was able to get ahead of it and take my meds at the beginning of the day, but I was in a brain fog for the rest of the day, and just like really bad vertigo and just like a wave of nausea here and there, just like the classic bullshit migraine stuff. But I wrote about half of a paper in that state, and then went back and read it, and some of it was gobbledygook. Like it made no sense. Man. All right. So, anyway, what is psychologist? That's pretty good.
I'm like semi-ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Not actually ambidextrous, but like, yeah, I don't know. There's probably like a sliding scale of ambidexterity.
Yeah. And you're somewhere on it. But anyway.
I don't even want to know what my left hand looks like. My right hand is such shit at writing.
So we are here
It gets
back in the wide, wide world of Delta Green. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Apprehensive, maybe?
Okay, fair enough.
The music is concerning, but ominous.
Rominous.
I feel ominous.
Which
That
is
describes
relaxing
everything.
and ominous?
Yes.
I feel randy and ominous.
It's still Rominous, though.
Mm-hmm. Subgenre.
See, that's the problem. The distinction is important. So, so you guys have had some character ideas, right? And so let's start first with kind of like where we're coming from. Like I said, this is being streamed and recorded, so maybe one day it becomes a thing. So I am Joe. I am going to be the handler of this operation. We are running, gentlemen, none other than Delta Green Impossible Landscapes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Woo!
And I don't know if you can see it on there.
I do like
Real
that art.
close. You look real
Yeah.
close. See, there's something in the background there. It's a little teaser
Wait.
of things to come.
Oh, is that like
Oh,
a
no.
bathroom?
Hold on, let me go to the
Back
Discord and see that.
I think you can actually see it on the Roll20. If you
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah,
Roll20
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
It looked like a locust or
insectoid, like-
something.
Yeah. So my
Mm.
first question to you guys actually. So we ran the control group scenario, or this control group campaign, I guess you'd call it technically. So we ran that to get everyone, and we ended up in Wormwood Arena, where you guys' characters investigated the Harmonious Bliss cults, got to the bottom of that. Only committed a little bit of mass murder.
Just dipped our
And-
toes in.
Small.
Dipped your toes and a
amount.
little bit of mass murder, but oddly enough, still did the mission. Completed the mission. I would say satisfactory. But throughout all that, you guys we're now going into a new adventure, and this thing's a doozy. Each one of these, I would say that each one of these 4 operations is going to be longer than Wormwood Arena was. I'm gonna go so far as to say even maybe significantly longer. So we're in this for the long haul, gents. It's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to it. My first question to you guys is, what do you guys know about the King in Yellow, if anything?
I think everything I know about it is from True Detective Season 1 and Glass Cannon Strange Aeons playthrough, where they just like touch on it. I don't actually know. It's like The King in Yellow is a play that supposedly if you read it, you go insane. That's about as much as I know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. All my knowledge comes from True Detective as well, and it's just like a obscure reference in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, John.
I know
have
he
you
has
ever-
a name, and it's Carcosa. Or Carcosa is somehow affiliated with the King in Yellow.
I think that affiliated with the King in Yellow is the best way to put it, because there are different descriptions and there are different fictions. Like, it's kind of like at this point, the King in Yellow has kind of become kind of in the way that vampires maybe once upon a time were very narrowly like defined as being specifically, like what came out of Dracula, right? But the lore has diverged so much on what makes a vampire. And the King in Yellow has done a very similar thing. Robert Chambers wrote it. He wrote it before Lovecraft. Lovecraft actually took a lot of actually read a lot of his stuff and took a lot of there's a word for it that's slipping my mind. But he read it. Yeah,
Ladies.
inspiration. Yeah, he took a lot of inspiration from it. But yeah, so I would say from this point on, I would dissuade any of you from looking any further into the King in Yellow, Carcosa, or anything like that. Like, if something comes up, be like, nope, I can't, I can't.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger that.
So like, because like I said, and this particular like brand of King in Yellow lore and stuff like that is like some of it is very, very specific to Delta Green. That's nowhere else. This operation is actually an old operation that was actually rewritten and updated and generated for the new Delta Green game, because the old Delta Green game was actually a setting for the Call of Cthulhu game. It was just a modern setting for Call of Cthulhu, but now it's its whole new game and stuff like that. So yeah. And John, you said you've never heard of anything about the King in Yellow.
No, I did a cursory Wikipedia, but then I was like, nope, this is all I need. I'm good.
Okay.
Mysterious enough.
Mysterious enough, yeah. But yeah, I think I really do like what True Detective did with it, though. John, if you haven't seen True Detective Season 1, make it a priority.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like,
Long ago.
but the cool thing about True Detective Season 1 is it's always on the periphery as this like passing strange thing that seems to have tendrils, but it's never addressed, which keeps it scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, the second you see the monster, it's not scary anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be getting into a big wide world, the Delta Green world of intrigue, conspiracy, and the unnatural. Now we are in 1995, and we take place in New York. And I asked you guys to get some character ideas together. I think that Brad had decided that he wanted to do more of the agent role, to take a role as a federal agent, and then Dace and Gian, you guys were both want to do some of the other specialist roles. So I already talked to Dace a little bit about it, and we'll talk again. But so Brad, why don't you start us out? Tell us a little bit about your character, who's what was the name? Was it Hank Ellis? Was that it?
Okay, yeah, we're doing character introduction. Hank Ellis.
This is where we're gonna still build
He's
some
a-
stuff. This is a session. This is still like this is like halfway session 0, halfway session 1. We're gonna try to do some gameplay,
Gotcha.
but we're doing some.
Oh yeah, Hank Ellis is a U.S. Marshal from Newman, Georgia. His grandfather was a deputy. His father was a sheriff, so he decided to do one better and become a U.S. Marshal.
All right.
And yep, that's him. No, and I guess the whole background is like, he joined when he was 25, and one of his first assignments was driving a fugitive across state lines, and it was the dead of night, and started seeing the fugitive had killed several people, transformed to another jail. Said a radio in his head told him to do this stuff. It was only him driving down this road, and he saw some lights in the sky, kind of looked like a circle or something, another, and a white light. And I woke up in the middle of the desert, knew it was the day I was born, and shortly after that got contacted by the organization, and 20 years has passed, and nothing supernatural has happened since.
So how old is Hank?
45.
Okay, all right, 45. So Hank had an experience with the supernatural.
Basically an alien abduction.
Yeah. and so that was in the 60s, right? So because it's 1995 now, so that'd be in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So just real quick, when was the Roswell incident?
It might have been. That was before 70, surely.
Close.
I was in 47. Okay, so it was a long time ago. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, they had an interesting experience. So, do you think that Hank Ellis has ever done any other operations, or do you think that for these last 20 years he's been like a Delta Green friendly and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he hasn't done any operations. He was just contacted because of that. You know, gave the briefing, whatever entails when you get initiated, but hasn't had anything supernatural happen since.
Okay. Well, it's like, and maybe because he's a U.S. Marshal, he's a part of the Special Operations Group, I believe, which is like the U.S. Marshal SWAT team.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe they've tapped you a few times for equipment or for you to do some research for them, like run something through the database. So maybe you've had some feelers here, back and forth at Delta Green, but no big missions. This would be your first mission.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, nice. John, who are you bringing to the table, Mister Benedict Farthington?
Yes, yes, Benedict Simon Farthington. That is.
Pardon me.
Yes, yes. Let's not mix wires here. Benedict Farthington has been a British national, previously from Oxfordshire, and he grew up in a small little countryside just outside the town of Oxfordshire. He grew up to be a little bit of a bully at the St. Alice College for Boys, and as he aged, his naturally aggressive proclivities were diminished as the harshness of the small community came to suppress him. But he did understand how to more eagerly manipulate and control people with this greater understanding as he got older. But needless to say, he grew into the role of an editor-in-chief at the Daily Mail, which is a short little read in the UK, and he continues to provide his services there as the editor-in-chief. He was approached by Delta Green when one errand day he sat outside on a rainy UK day and was approached by a man who gave him a pamphlet. And it was a yellow, crippled piece of paper. And before he even had a chance to read it, it was snatched from his hands by a man with glasses, and he was whisked away and inducted into the Delta Green as a friendly.
Huh.
Okay. What kind
So
of?
even
And that's all he knows.
even
kind
he
of
doesn't know what was on the paper.
Well,
Yeah.
what kind of work have you been doing with Delta Green as a friendly? What kind of support? Because it sounds like you were like a. So when you say you were a writer for the Daily Mail, is that right?
Yeah, editor-in-chief.
Editor in chief. Okay, so that's not nothing. So
Yeah, that's something. But yes, the Daily Mail is a bit of a. It's not where the ground truth of news comes from. It's more the fringe stories that we deal with. And Delta Green has so far just asked to be kept abreast of what those stories look like.
Okay. So what skill set does I think it's pretty obvious what kind of skill set that someone who might be a U.S. Marshal might bring to the game. What does Benedict bring to the game? What does he bring? What skill set does he bring to Delta Green that they've utilized thus far?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he knows how to manipulate perspective en masse, and I think he understands how to control, manipulate people in general, and that's why he's become a valuable asset because he can be a bit of a spearhead for the community.
Yeah, Delta Green definitely appreciates someone who knows how to.
Oh, they do.
Spin a story. That's for sure. So, I mean, that's awesome. Like that's a perfect fit, I'd say. So what about Dace? What are you bringing to this game? Who else is joining us today?
Hi, my name is Benji Potts. I'm a musical historian. Specifically, I study the blues with an emphasis in boogie woogie. I got my bachelor's degree at the University of Mississippi, and now I study at Juilliard, and my mama says I have a heart of gold. Pleased to meet you.
All right. So, Benjamin, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Benji, yes.
Yeah.
So Benji's at Juilliard, and
That's
he's a professor or an adjunct or.
Oh, I'm just a student. I'm working on my master's.
Working on your master's, okay.
That's right.
All right. So, and actually, I should have asked Benedict this. So we'll swing back around here in a second. Or no, Benedict did describe to us his encounter with the supernatural, as far as he knows, that he's been read in after what happened on the street that day. So Benji is a historian of the blues. He's like a music historian. What happened to Benji that made Delta Green take a notice?
Well, when I was in Mississippi, I went to Cleveland down to a particular crossroads. One Mr. Rob Jordan went and purportedly sold his soul to the devil. And I took a rite of passage and saw some stuff that I might not ought to see. It's haunted me for many days. And I took an interest in the supernatural.
Lose her voice.
Now I'm
Maybe
writing my dissertation on the unearthly and the ethereal and its crossover with the blues.
All right, so you've
Excellent.
attracted so your study of this kind of thing, and maybe your digging has attracted some attention from Delta Green. We talked the other day, and it's like maybe one day Benji went into his small office that he's been given as a graduate student, and there were some men digging through his papers.
It's actually a janitor's closet. It's amazing that we can all fit in there at once.
Right. But yeah, so what does Benji bring to the table?
Well, I play a mean six string.
Yeah, he does. Is that all?
Okay,
That's it?
real.
This is a wild card.
Yeah, he is.
Oh man! All right.
That is fascinating. It sounds like he is just a great guy, just overall, just a
The
nice
heart of
guy.
gold.
The heart of gold. All right, so we have. I'm gonna start my paper notes here. I've got Benji. I've got not Finnegan. Sorry, Benedict. And old Hank. 3 of you. All right, so let's get down to some character creation stuff here then. I think a lot of it has been done. Have you guys filled in your skills and stuff?
No.
Okay.
I have.
You have not?
Uh-oh. Make him roll for sanity.
Right. I don't think. Yeah. So for the, do you have the player's handbook there with you?
Golly, I know I downloaded it. Let's see.
It might be easier actually if I just read off the stats and you put it in.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
That might be actually like faster.
I do have it pulled up now, but yeah, shoot.
All right. Hold on, I have to find it real quick here. These are all federal agencies. I need the other ones because I'm having trouble finding where the historian is kept in here. Or actually, it might not be in here. It might be in the other documents. It might be in the Google documents.
I think I got it. It's under anthropologist or historian. You study humanity. You're concerned with patterns that emerge over time across land masses, cultures, language groups. You might be a number cruncher, field worker. 20.
Yeah, I'm on page 27 for his stats, I think. Anthropology or historian.
Okay,
On
I was
the
looking at
handler's
the
guide.
Professional skills. I'm on Agent's Handbook.
Page 27. Go on.
No, Agent's Handbook, page 20.
Oh, 20.
But I've
Sorry,
just got the
yeah, you're right.
professional skills.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is fine. All right, so Dace,
Yes.
you ready?
Yep.
All right, yeah. So, pick either anthropology or archaeology and put that at 50.
Right.
Bureaucracy of 40.
Noise. Okay.
Now, I'm going to let you choose here. Do you want to put... You're going to have an opportunity here to take a foreign language and a music skill. One can be 40, one can be 50. Which do you think is more important to Benji?
Oh, definitely music skill.
All right, so then put your music at 50 under art.
Okay.
And then pick yourself a foreign language.
And where would up? Okay, foreign languages and other skills. What foreign language would Benji know?
Cajun?
Italian operas. I don't know. Cajun.
Creole French? If you just straight up don't
Italian
think that
might work.
fits Benji, if you just think that's not a thing, then take those 40 points, and take that 40 and put it somewhere you think that is applicable to Benji once we're done.
Okay, I'll just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Put it in music again. Oh, he's 90% music.
100% music, yeah. History, 60.
Makes sense. All right.
Occult, 40.
Also makes sense.
Persuade, 40.
Okay.
Alright, now you can pick 2 of these and add them. You can take, you already have anthropology. You can take archaeology at 40, human int at 50, navigate at 50, ride at 50, search 60, survival 50. Pick 2 of those.
Okay, I'm going to do human at, what was it, 50?
Yep.
And what were the ones after human?
Human, navigate, ride, search, survival.
What is ride?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Like
Ride or
a
die.
horse?
Piggies.
Just a horse?
Not just horses, but like to ride things. Not like the bus. Like, I'm a really effective... I always find a good seat that's not next to someone weird.
Best commuter.
Oh,
You're a
no,
five-star commuter.
I had it in his backstory that he's an Eagle Scout, so it'd definitely be survival.
Okay.
And that was what in survival?
50.
Okay.
And if you don't want a foreign language, you can put a 40 in something.
Is it cheap to say that he was in the that whole thing that was like,
Well, back in high school, I was in the raffle club, and every week we'd have a different raffle. Everybody would throw their name in, and one week I won a gun, and I learned how to shoot it pretty good.
I mean, you're a historian. I think a 40% in firearms is what you're trying to say.
yeah.
You want to jack up your firearms. You know, like, I think that 40 might be a bit high. Your firearm starts at 10, I think. Or is it start at 20? I don't remember.
I'm at 50 in firearms.
But you're a federal agent.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I'm just giving that for reference.
Yeah, why don't you take I don't know.
I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna do firearms. I think I'd rather
Okay.
play it truer to the character. Let me just
What if he
browse.
puts it in unnatural? What is unnatural?
No.
Okay.
That's not how unnatural works.
Well, he seems quite
navigate.
unnatural.
So,
You don't-
what about something like search? Like search is very applicable to a historian who's like learning how to do things like that.
Okay,
Or,
yeah,
or hell,
cool.
it is 95. You could drop a little bit in computer science. If like you're doing some Windows 95 action.
I kind of like that too. Would search be like going to a library and searching for stuff, or is it like searching?
It could be used for that. Intelligence could be used for that kind of thing too. You could also use your history skill for that kind of thing, like specifically for libraries. Like it depends on what you're looking up at the library, but search is more broad.
Okay, I'll go with search, so I can add 40 to that.
Yeah, or make it 40.
Make it 40. Okay.
All right. You were saying something, John?
No.
Okay. And then for Brad and John, like if you have anything in your character that you're looking at your sheet and the stats, and you're like, I don't really know if that's me. Like I don't know if that's Benedict. I don't know if that's Hank. Like let me know. Like if you wanna adjust some stuff around, like, hey, does either of your guys have any hobbies? Like maybe they play the spoons and you guys get together with Benji and just go all out.
Mm-hmm.
Rootin'
I'll think
good
about that.
time.
Yeah.
No,
Alright,
nothing from my side. He's got
Nothing, okay.
military science, and he did have a hobby of studying ancient British firearms, or last century firearms. But that's military science.
Well, it could also be
Actually,
history.
what does military science? What is
Military
on the
science
sheet?
is like how like tactics. Like it could be history. It could be like what is that? Like what weapon would be best here? Like what like military non-civilian weapon it is. Like it's broad. Like a lot of this stuff is up to. There's a lot of debate.
So
Is like the
he
house.
effectively read The Art of War at some point, and now he's got 40 military.
Yeah. Now you're a military tactician, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's roll everyone's stats real quick, and then we'll talk about bonds. How about that?
Wait.
Okay.
So the way stats are going to work is okay. Do you guys want to roll them, or do you want to assign points?
Roll.
We gotta roll.
You got to roll. All
We
right.
like to gamble here.
All right. So remember, Brad, which slash is a slash in roll 20? It's not a backslash. It's a forward slash.
Okay.
I believe in you.
I still don't know what's forward and what's backwards, but I'll try.
Got so much backslash from that backslash.
Right. The one that's by the one that's with the question mark is the one you want.
Gotcha.
So
there's a little man and his head is going forward, and it's like, oh, that's the forward slash.
there's forward. Yeah, sure.
Backslash is.
But what if he's upside down? Then his head's going backwards.
I don't overthink it.
Okay.
All right.
So the way it works is you're gonna roll 4d6, and then you're gonna drop the lowest, and you're gonna do that 6 times, and then assign those as you like. So Brad, you go ahead first. //R space 4d6. And you want to do that 6 times and then drop the lowest each time.
Damn.
That first one, good
Nailed.
God.
You nailed it first time.
I'm gonna do this 6 times.
Yep, you can do that 6 times.
Okay. D6.
Does this get capped out, Joe? At like 72? Is that only for assigning?
72 is only for assigning. So 72 will give you an average amount. Like basically when you roll, you're taking the chance that you're going to get some really highs, but you might also get some really lows.
Cool.
You're looking pretty good.
Like a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Jeez.
Yeah, he
So
is
one
really
more.
good. Yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's gonna be really. You're gonna be really solid.
You're solid.
Damn. Yeah, that is good.
Okay. Nice.
All right, so
Not
drop
hide
the
behind this
lowest of
guy.
each. So drop the lowest of each one, so that and then add the remaining 3, and then assign those. So go ahead and be looking at those. Write those down real quick, so that Gian and Dace can do theirs.
Hank might actually
Wait.
survive this module.
So wait, I dropped the lowest of the 4 rolls on each one. Is that what you said?
Yeah, of the 4 numbers, drop the lowest in each roll.
So the top one would be 5 plus 4 plus 5, and that's what I would put on something.
Correct. So you
Okay.
don't get 18, you get 14. But still, I mean, that's 14 ain't nothing to fucking scoff at, you know.
Gotcha.
Like Hank is above average, like on pretty much everything.
Goddamn, Hank the Tank.
Hank the Tank. All right, Jean, if you want to, or Dace. All right, it looks like Jean's going somewhere. Sorry.
I'm getting a
Dace,
I'm getting a pen and paper.
Okay. Dace,
Right.
if you want to go ahead and do /R 46, do that 6 times.
You got it, good buddy. Damn. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, same thing. You've got some that are a little lower, but you've also got some that are spectacularly high.
Higher than, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so write those down.
Track the lowest one.
Yep, and take the lowest one off each one, and then Jean can roll his when you're done.
Word. That's so weird, this system. It just occurred to me that you actually, like, ideally, you would roll a 1. So when you deduct the lowest one, you hit for the least. Like, you don't want all 4 to be high.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess so. So.
Oh, you got him.
Benji.
Yeah, like that
You
last
good
roll
there,
was
Dace?
not as good.
Is Dace? Dace, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yours done.
Cool.
All right, Jean, go ahead. If you're not already doing it, I think you already are. Yep.
All good. Oof.
Pretty good. Man, you guys all did pretty well. Like,
Yeah.
like you guys are all having agents with. Does anyone have a 10, or is everyone at least 11 and above?
I have
My lowest
110.
one's 12.
I
Yeah,
feel
my
like
lowest one's 12.
Benedict's gonna be
Not bad.
12 there. Benedict's got an 11.
Yeah.
But what's your okay, I'll go ahead, assign your stats, and then
My highest is 15. My lowest is 11.
yeah.
That's not
So
bad.
Brad, have you already assigned yours?
Yes.
So what are you looking at? Where'd you put your stuff?
Strength 15, Constitution 14, Dexterity 14, Intelligence 12, Power 13, and Charisma 13.
Okay. So, and then there is there's a thing that we talked about kind of in the last one, is distinguishing features. So anything that you have that's below a 9, which is nothing apparently for you guys, or that is above a 12, so 13 and above, like for each one of those things that's 13 or above, in the little space there next to it, just put like one word that describes how Hank is exceptional in that area.
Gotcha.
And like, what do you think those would be like for the stuff that he's extra good at, greater than 13 at?
He was a power lifter in high school. I guess will be strength.
Okay. All right.
Constitution. I don't know. How serious do these have to be?
They don't have to be exact, but so your highest are basically your strength, constitution, and your dexterity.
Yeah. What is power again? That's like mental fortitude.
Power is your willpower, or it's like your mental fortitude. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But your highest is by far that you are a power lifter, and does that? I assume that affects the way Hank looks. Is Hank he's like a pretty big guy?
Yeah, he's like big, stout, tall, but his face is like leathery as hell. His face looks like he's 60, but his body's like prime.
But he doesn't look bad either. I mean, he's got 13 in charisma still.
Oh, true. I was thinking that'd be more charisma would be more personality than looks.
Well, yeah, okay. So it's all in his personality. He's a real nice guy, or maybe not nice, but he's charismatic. But the thing is, you're still dexterous too. So even though he's a big guy, even though he's strong, he's a little wily as well.
What's his dex?
14.
All right. What about for Benedict? Where'd you put your stuff? What's your highest?
He's got 15 in charisma.
All right.
And then 14 intelligence, 14 strength. And then the rest are 12, 12, 11 constitution.
Yeah. So for the purpose of this, maybe just anything over 14. Give a distinguishing feature to, because you guys are so exceptional.
Solid rolls. So he's definitely a sweet talker.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a pseudo intellectual. Yeah.
Okay.
A double negative. Actually gonna be
Every party he goes to, he won't shut up about the art of war.
Yeah. And then what does strength give again? Is that more physical or?
Yeah, strength is like literally your physical strength. Nice.
Well, he is a burly looking man with a large belly, so that works.
Okay. And what about for Benji? What's Benji's highest skills?
I actually got 2 15s, so I put one in intelligence and said that he's a bookworm.
All right.
And in charisma, and I put that he's disarming, like he's disarmingly charming. And got a 14 in dex.
He doesn't come across as threatening at all.
Right. Yeah. He's just like a very sincere guy.
Yeah.
I got a 14 in dex, and I put that he was in cross country. And then a 13 in power, and I put strong beliefs. I think he's definitely a mama's boy, and like she instilled a lot of values in him. So anytime his world is challenged by like insanity, he'll like rely on his mother in that way.
Okay, so he's got a really good foundation in his beliefs.
Yeah,
reminds me of Water Boy. Well, fellas, Mama's wrong again.
He's like a mix between Waterboy and, if y'all watch 30 Rock, Kenneth from 30 Rock.
Oh God, yeah, that's so great. Yeah,
nice. So that's definitely got to be one of his bonds, his mama.
Well, she's dead, so that can't actually be his bonds.
Okay. And on that point, let's go back to Brad, and let's talk about Hank's bonds. So, how many bonds does Hank have?
2.
All right. Oh, by the way, Dace, you have 4 bonds, according to the book.
Okay, cool. Because I thought of another one.
Cool.
So that's good.
All right. So Hank, tell us about these 2 bonds that Hank has.
The first one is the relationship with his 5 sons from 5 different wives: John, Jonathan, Joshua, James, and Junior.
Fucking hell.
And The second bond is a Waffle House waitress, Sandy. He has a crush on her.
Dude.
Wait.
What is that? Relevant in some way?
Just hold on. All right, so you've got 2 bonds, and your bond score with those people is your charisma score. That's where it's going to start.
Okay.
And that goes for all of you guys. So
What do you have to
everyone,
say I did, Dace?
it's not important at this time.
My bad. If I took it, something you wanted.
All right. So and then now tell us about Benedict's. Tell us about Benedict's bonds. What keeps Benedict grounded?
Benedict has a little plaything at work called Jeremy, his PA at the Daily Mail. It's a bit of an abusive relationship, but he likes to think it's all in good jest. It's all fun and games.
How does Jeremy feel about it?
Oh, it doesn't matter. He's also got Judy, his elderly neighbor. He's got Margie, his magpie. And then Barlow, his older brother. Older, but definitely not wiser brother.
Okay. Kind of outshone the older brother there in life.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this next door neighbor?
Judy likes to make him a cup of tea every now and then, and Judy's kind of always been there, understands that it's all fun and games, a little bit of emotional badgering of the underlings, because wink wink, nudge nudge with Judy.
Okay, so it sounds is she like and this is in is Judy in New York? Because that's where you're living now, right?
Yeah, right. I think she's back home in Oxfordshire.
Maybe she's just like she's your old neighbor. You call her every now and then, check in on her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and now tell us about Finnegan's bonds.
Benji.
Sorry, not Finnegan. Finnegan, he's
that
not
psychopath
here.
never coming
He's
back.
not here.
Finnegan, wow.
He's not here. He can't hurt you.
Bad time.
I don't know. I feel like Benedict might have some Finnegan vibes. I'm catching a little sociopathy walking off of him.
Yeah.
But okay.
Are we both in
Benji's
love with the
bonds.
same waiter or some shit?
Well, okay. So my first bond was gonna be a waitress at a diner named Letitia. But when you said, what was it, Sandy?
Yeah.
I immediately thought how hilarious it would be if we shared the same bond.
Yes, I like it. That's exactly where my head was.
I think that's a poor overall choice. Just saying.
Think about the hilarity. Like, if neither of us know that we both know Sandy, and like we both call her and just dump all this horrible shit on her. Like,
maybe Benji has a crush on Sandra. She's like giving us 2 different names.
why do you think that's a bad idea, Joe?
That's just... because I'm thinking of Sandy/Sandra as a real person, and I'm just imagining how awful that would be to have
that's
2
why it's
people
funny
in your life. If you guys wanted the same woman, but it definitely needs to be that you guys have not met each other beforehand. And so, like, if you're going to the same diner, talking to the same woman, it doesn't really make, like, it's possible, certainly.
Well, we are both.
Or hell, maybe Sandy's picking up hours at the Waffle House on 13th and the one down on 6th Ave.
Okay.
I'll think of a different bond, and if I have one that I like better than that, I'll swap it out. But for now,
you don't have to think of a different one. If you think, like, if you guys want to do that and you guys want to role play it out, because I trust you guys as role players to make it work.
We'll just see how it goes. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been talking to this girl Sandy. Who knows if it's the same girl or not? I mean, our characters wouldn't know. We'll just see how it develops.
So, what about the rest of Benji's bonds then?
Okay. Then there's Skylar, who was they were frat brothers at the University of Mississippi when he was going to undergrad, and Skylar's like everything that Benji is not. He's like super handsome and popular and everything, and he sort of took him under his wing, and now Skylar is like a big business mogul in New York, and they sometimes still get together and have drinks at a bar. What was the third one we came up with? I forgot the third one.
One of your professors, wasn't it?
Yes. An as yet unnamed professor with no background. I'll come up with that. But then for my fourth bond, I chose T Model Ford, who is an actual bluesman from Mississippi. I think he's born in Forest, Mississippi. He doesn't actually remember his birthday, so he didn't know how old he is. But
Jesus.
in 1995, he would have been around 72. And I think Benji linked up with him, and T Model taught him how to play blues guitar.
Okay.
Damn.
T Model is just like in real life, he's dead now, but he was an outrageous character. Like, his music is awesome and hilarious.
Yeah,
Like, check out his song Chicken Head Man.
Chicken head.
I was about to say, I thought it was him.
Yeah.
Excellent song.
Yeah. And then I just have to come up with a name for the professor, and those are my bonds.
And the professor, this is like the person you're currently like working underneath, or like how?
Yeah, it'd be like his mentor, his advisor for his dissertation.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. So we've got our bonds then. So the next kind of step in the character creation is, I kind of want to know if you guys want to. It doesn't sound like a lot of you guys have been involved in a lot of Delta Green operations, but I'm thinking of specifically Hank as a U.S. Marshal. There are other things that can happen. There are things that can happen to people that can affect who they are and how they operate in the world. Specifically, things like being a damaged veteran. Not necessarily of Delta Green operations, but the kind of things that give you a little bit, just like a little touch of hardness to the things that affect people's sanity in the world of Delta Green, which are violence and helplessness. You can also you could also claim that, that experience, the supernatural experience you had kind of hardened you, or don't be afraid to say, hey, maybe I have done a few Delta Green missions, and so I'm a little bit of a Delta Green vet at this point. So the options are on page 38 under damaged veterans, and they are the inoculation to extreme violence, or the exposure to extreme violence, exposure to captivity or imprisonment, which helps with helplessness. There's hard experience, and then there is things man was not meant to know. So.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Okay, I see it now. I definitely want to use one of these if I can. What's the disadvantage? This is just an extra kind of little bonus thing I get.
You can read the descriptions there of each one. There are disadvantages to having each one.
I think I'm definitely going to go with things man was not meant to know due to the whole Crossroads incident.
Yeah. You went down. I mean, you went. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. Benji went down, like basically tracked down and discovered where this blues legend went to sell his soul to the devil. Went down there and engaged in some of the same, like, occultic kind of stuff, and had an experience.
Right. Yeah, and in Clarksdale, where Robert Johnson sold his soul. There's like a historic crossroads that's like the landmark. But then if you ask like locals, they'll point you to a different crossroads. That's just like theoretically or supposedly the actual crossroads where it happened. So he went to that one and did this ritual.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Um,
So then, if that's the case, then for Benji, then go ahead and add 10% to your unnatural skill and 20% to your occult. So Benji's a bit up to his eyeballs in this stuff. Already.
Yeah, my cult is 60 now.
Yeah. Once you do that, reduce your sanity by your power stat.
The maximum or the current?
Your current.
Okay.
Because I think, did all that stuff fill in automatically? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So your current goes down.
It's now 52.
All right. And you are going to get a... Your new breaking point is going to be a little different because your new breaking point is going to be 52 minus 13. So your new breaking point is going to be 39.
Okay. Do we also need to choose a motivation?
Yes, motivations are going to be a thing. They're not as important to play, but there are still things that can kind of inform this. Especially for you, because you're going to be doing this. So let me roll a quick D8. Let's see what we got here. 5. All right. There is a risk over in the motivations area. I would like for Benji for you to write fugues or disassociation or whatever you want to. Maybe dissociative disorder might be easier to understand. Basically, you go into catatonia. You just write catatonia if you want. You go into catatonia and have a tendency to kind of shut down when encountering things that are similar to the experience that you had in Cleveland.
All right.
So sometimes when you encounter the unnatural, there's a risk that you might kind of go down shutdown mode, kind of go into this dissociative.
I said Cleveland, didn't I? It was Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Clarksdale.
That's
Okay, Clarksdale, Mississippi. All right. So, do you guys want to take any of the damaged veteran subtypes?
Don't think it makes sense for Benedict.
You don't think so? Okay. And what about
I don't
for,
want to.
All right, cool. All right. And then, so the last thing is probably under motivations. Motivations are basically... We decided when we were playing before that we were going to use a similar system to things like D&D and stuff, of like an advantage system. Now, in the book, motivations are typically used for you to regenerate willpower without resting. So say if you were a doctor and you had a motivation to help the sick and you healed someone, you'd be like, well, that was you fulfilling a personal motivation. You would get a little willpower back for that, right? I have not seen willpower be that big of a thing. It may be a lot different due to the nature of this campaign, but I am really considering actually using your motivations to be an opportunity for you guys to earn bonuses to your rolls. But basically by fulfilling a motivation, that's how you're going to get a 20% bonus on a roll.
I like that.
You guys like that?
Okay.
Like, with limited, because I want to put down, like, one of my main goals just as like a marshal is to capture known fugitives. So, like, put like a cap on how often I can use that. So, like, every time I'm shooting at a bad guy, I can't roll an extra. But
Right. Well, it's like, or maybe something just like catch bad guys. Maybe that's a little more broad. It's like give you more opportunity for that, but it's not so broad. So yeah, like something that's not like so broad that it can just be achieved. Like eat breakfast should not be a motivation.
Well, okay. So I was gonna, as my first motivation, I was gonna say make mama proud.
Make mama proud.
Is that too general?
I think make mama proud is a bit general, unless you can tell me something pretty specific that made mama proud. Like make mama proud. Never tell a lie. Like that would be like something kind of specific. Because make mama proud, it's a bit broad.
Okay.
I think the number of motivations you want, you really want 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. We don't have to do them all now. Like we're gonna investigate and kind of learn these characters a little bit as we go, so it will be easier a little later. But let's try to get at least 2 or 3 right now. Like what are the kind
3.
of things that you've got 3?
I think so. I wanted, I can't think, or I could think of 2 more if I really had to. I want to do just like capture known fugitives as a motivation, provide for his sons and ex-wives as one.
Okay.
And live up to his family's legacy as the officer of the law.
Okay. All right. That one's a little more broad, but it's still all right. Man, I wish I had a shade on this damn window. It is so bright. What about for Benedict? We think it's Benedict go.
I don't know. I was thinking it's probably something around uncovering secrets or something linked back to understanding why, when handed a pamphlet, his entire life changed. But I can't really keep that. I can't really generalize it in a way that makes sense.
Would it be part of his identity as a journalist? Might be kind of like,
right?
Like hey, like uncover the truth about
uncover the truth. Done.
Or even like, or maybe I don't know. Was he like a big like exposed corruption in the government kind of person? And now you're part of a secret underground government agency.
Right.
It's like I don't know, like or maybe is Benedict's thing? Does he like? I mean, he sounds like a bit of a sociopath, bit of a narcissist in some way. So like, is he get more well known, make more money, that kind of thing? Like, are those the kind of things that he likes?
He's gonna want to, I don't know, like dominate meaningless interactions with other people, or like not so much like dominate a community or anything else. He just wants to be the fucking guy in whatever situation he is part of.
Okay, like be the center of attention, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Cool. I think that's okay for now. We'll figure out the rest. He's still a little bit blurry in my mind.
Okay, I got you. And what about for old Benji?
I've got
what is Benji like?
Make mama proud, parentheses, the golden rule. I figure that might make it more narrow.
Okay. All right.
Treat others as you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Learn more about the Clarksdale incident.
Okay.
Spread the joy of the blues and boogie woogie.
Gotcha.
Finish dissertation.
Okay.
And record blues album.
All right. So you have those written on your sheet just like that?
Yep.
All right.
So that Joe can destroy a few of them.
Which one will go?
Just one. So, the second one.
Yep.
Which was?
Learn more about the Clarksdale incident.
You just, at this point, you just don't even know if you want to know.
Okay. Should I delete that one?
Don't delete it. It's still there. You can do things to get that motivation back. But it is basically covered over by your current mental disorder.
Okay.
So your mental disorder is kind of currently like fulfilling that slot All right.
Put up.
No, Joe, that the video that's streaming is on like your Fred boat or like some menu on
Oh
Discord.
shit. Yeah, it's all over the place. Oh, it's going. Sorry, it's because I switched pages. It'll be back.
Gotcha.
It's because I don't have multiple computers to run this off of.
Amateur.
Right. But yeah, so if you guys are good with that, then do you guys have any questions, like about what else is going on? And like when it comes to equipment, all right, so like some of the equipment stuff is gonna be handled. I know, like you guys, like primarily Hank. Hank had some questions about like, yeah, I'm like a member of the SWAT team of the U.S. Marshals. Do I get to bring all my SWAT stuff? I would say that you have access to it, but you do not keep that around. Like, that is at your office. That is
Okay.
kept under lock and key in the SWAT van. Now, you're obviously going to have a much easier time getting it than most people, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But
Well, it would
definitely-
be fair that I have my agency badge and
I would say that
medium
you definitely
pistol.
have everything that's listed under the federal agent stuff, which is like badge, a sidearm, a pistol, like a basic bulletproof vest, a jacket that says Marshal across it, that kind of thing.
Now, can I take the battering ram?
I would say no.
Oh, okay.
All right. So are we good then? Do you guys like where this is at?
We
Alright.
also
Yeah.
mentioned we needed to
Yeah.
come up with a code name, didn't we? Like,
Oh yeah,
Part
you
of the M
need
smell.
a code name that starts with the letter M.
Ooh.
So have you guys thought about this? It sounds like John has.
I may have got it wrong though, because I thought it needed to be like M dash. I chose M pudding, but that's not right. So
No.
I remembered it, but I did it so wrong.
All right.
I think,
you had the spirit of it.
I had the spirit, yeah.
I mean, I'm all for inputting, but I think Hanks will be Molasses since he's from Georgia.
Molasses.
Agent Molasses. All right.
I think Benedict is gonna be Matador.
Agent Matador.
Ooh, that's really good.
Better than pudding.
Inputting.
This is so dumb, but it's all I can think of. Like, my brain has latched onto it, and I can't get over it. What if I was
Agent Meetcha, as in Pleaster.
Jesus Christ.
Meetcha.
Done.
Is it spelled like
Agent
a?
Meetcha.
Is it spelled like it's from a different language? Like it has some apostrophes and like some funny
Like-
symbols in it?
Meetcha?
Meetcha.
Meetcha. Agent Meetcha. All right. It's fine. I don't fucking care. These are your agency names. So all that being said, so you guys, do you guys want those names?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Yes. I'm attached to it now.
Not what I want, it's all I can think of.
Okay. It's not the code name we want, but it's the code name we deserve.
Okay.
All right. So that being said, let's take a quick break. We'll just like hit some Roll20 stuff real quick because there's gonna be something that we're gonna be doing, and then we can get into it. You guys down?
Cool. Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. So if you guys would look on over to Roll20, we're just gonna remind each other of how things work. If you go over to the chat box, there's obviously the chat with little bubbles on the right side. That picture next to it should be the journal entries, and that's where all your characters currently are. We're gonna do things a little differently as far as journals and stuff. You'll see how it goes. Do a little bit differently. And then over on the left side of your Roll20 screen, you should have that little bar there that's got the arrow and it's got the paintbrush or whatever it is so you can draw stuff. When you use and that's also how you type things. We're going to be using that a little bit. I'm going to try to get you guys to do some of that, and you'll see how that works. So, like, when you hover over the paintbrush, it gives you opportunity to, especially to do text and to do lines. And so we'll just wind up using some of that a little bit. So, are you guys ready to get into impossible landscapes?
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right. Our scene opens and just a big, just like a smash cut, bam. Just New York City, just the entire skyline, all spread out as far as the eye can see. New York City, 1995. We zoom in and we zoom through the streets, through the brownstones in Manhattan and the skyscrapers, this way and that, sweeping around. And we land on a small, not that small, but an unassuming park. It is Washington Square Park. I, unfortunately, do not know much about New York and what is where, but I've seen pictures of Washington Square Park. It's got a fountain.
One of
It's
my
got big.
places in New York.
Say again.
It's one of my favorite places in New York. It's awesome.
Yeah.
There's just so many weirdos there.
Yeah, that's also what I read about it. The year is 1995. As you look around the park, styles are a little bit different. Everyone's, I guess, is everyone like just kind of getting into the thrift stuff, and pants are ride really low, and people are wearing overalls, like non-ironically, because that kind of look was cool. There are billboards for things like Friends that are still is like the peak of its popularity. The buzz around, well, everywhere is about the OJ trial, and which is still absolutely red hot in in August, which is still red hot. The Oklahoma City bombings have been a huge thing, especially for federal law enforcement, like our good friend Hank. Oklahoma City bombing was a huge event, rocked the entire nation. This new threat, domestic terrorism, not new, but newish. And the whole city is abuzz, but everyone's really more focused on the OJ trial, and that's what's very, very much going on. Windows 95 just released, which is very exciting. And if anything, is like anyone would tell you that you need to pull your money out of Mac right now because it's not going anywhere. We'll see how that goes in the end, I suppose. Each of your characters has received contact, has been activated, and needs to meet your handler or your team lead in Washington Square Park. How does Benedict receive this activation? Like, what do you think is the spycraft kind of way that this message is passed to Benedict? Oh, and by the way, actually, before you answer that, Delta Green at this time is not an officially sanctioned government program. The larger story in this of the Delta Green lore is that Delta Green was, before Vietnam, an official program, and after 9/11, official program. But everything that you guys do is completely on you. There is no program up there to save you. Everything you do is illegal and completely on your own. You are disavowed at the drop of a hat if discovered and burned. You all know this. You all know the risk, but you also know the risk of the unnatural, which is why you're here. So again, how does Benedict get activated and told that he needs to go meet his contact in Washington Square Park?
I think at this point, Benedict is working via correspondence to back home to Daily Mail. He's got a gig in New York. He's busy. He's got Jeremy with him because he kind of carts him everywhere. And through the days, he's got a desk as well. I think he's actually the correspondent for one of the other newspapers in New York. But on his desk, he gets another innocuous old yellow piece of paper, but he's now instinctively, he just crumples up old pieces of paper and throws them in the bin. He's like, an allergic reaction. But no. Jeremy, where's this? Get this away from me. And he just tosses things out. So for the past week, he's been receiving a new piece of tattered yellow print on his desk. And eventually, he gets a tattered piece of paper on his desk. But on top of it is a pager. And on this pager, the pager starts ringing. And he's forced to look at the pager. And pagers are kind of like a in-between technology at this stage, but
Right.
it's unavoidable for him.
Well, cell phones are still
school.
not big.
No, not so much. But
They're
he's
big
old school.
inside.
Benedict is old school like that. So he picks it up and he sees 3 words, and it's meet at rendezvous. And that's where he gets activated, and he knows what to do, knows where to go.
All right. So he gets going. He understands, and you know that that's your point. You know that Washington Square Park is your point.
Yeah.
All right. So you head out. What about Benji? What does Benji? How does he get this communique?
I think Benji would be sitting on the stoop of his studio apartment in Brooklyn. And I don't know, but I think this was before Brooklyn was gentrified, so it's still like pretty dangerous and like it's still like the hood back then, maybe. Not sure.
Right.
But that's all he can afford on a master student's salary in New York. And he's in a stoop with his guitar, like trying to write this song, and he keeps like screwing up a chord, and he'll go back to his notebook and scratch out some lyrics, and he's like,
Oh, dang it, I just can't get this. My lord, I was all head and no heart.
and there's a jingle of a bell, and he looks up, and there's a raggedy neighborhood cat named Breakfast. He's like,
Oh, hey, Breakfast. You want a pet? You look like a petty cat. Come here, Breakfast.
and he picks Breakfast up, and he notices on Breakfast's collar there's a little rolled up piece of parchment. He's like,
What's this?
and he unrolls it, and I think there's just the symbol of Delta Green, like the triangle with the thing on it. And he's like,
Oh, hey. I guess it's time.
And yeah, he also like understands that there's been a pre-established meeting place, and it's in Overton Square Park. So he puts up his 6 string and starts hoofing it.
All right. You meant Washington Square Park, right?
Washington Square Park.
Because you're going to Overton Square Park now, and you're going to have a whole different adventure than everybody else. All right. What about Hank? How does Hank get?
I imagine Hank is more located in the southern part of the United States. Obviously, he could go anywhere in the United States as a marshal. But he probably has like a central spot, law enforcement office with a couple other sheriff or deputies, and just get the call and they say it's for you, Hank, and he picks up the phone and says hello, and they explain, you know who this is. We met in the 1970 blank, whatever the date was, when he was found in the desert buck ass nude, and they say, "We've seen you nude. You got to come to this spot."
All right, so your activation is a little more straightforward.
I would imagine, because
Okay.
it could be covered up as like some other law enforcement agency call.
Maybe you receive the call. You receive the call, and it's like, yes, Agent Ellis, like we'd like to talk to you about a case that occurred in 1975 in which a man was found nude in the middle of the desert, and they describe your case. They're like, we'd really like to talk to discuss this case. How about 1 o'clock in Washington Square?
Well, I reckon I can do that. I still can't walk straight, so I'd like to get a doctor's appointment about that as well.
You're gonna have to handle that with the HMO. Sorry, that's
Sure thing.
What are the health benefits like in Delta Green?
not great. All right. You each make it to Washington Square Park, and I said I'm controlling everything, so it's like I'm a bit all over the place. So like I'd really like to be able to switch this stuff like really quickly, really efficiently, but it's just like not gonna happen. Let's keep this going for now. So you guys are meeting Washington Square Park. There is all sorts of stuff going on. I mean, it's a very active park. It's a beautiful day. Like everyone's come outside. It's August, and the New York heat is just like at its peak, and there are kids playing out in the water. People are like people have their blankets spread out in the grass. There's probably only a little bit of crack being purchased and sold behind bushes and whatnot. There's like street performers, and there's people doing those artists to do the caricatures of people, like where they have the really big heads and stuff like that. There's like people doing that kind of stuff for tourists. It's a very beautiful, very busy day. Each of you, the arch in Washington Square Park, each of you knows, having been communicated to you previously, you know what to look for. You know to look for a man who is going to be holding a green, like a green briefcase. Looking for the green briefcase. He's going to be leaning. He's going to be there, like smoking, or like there at the base, and you're supposed to ask him, like, does he have a smoke? Like the passphrase is that you give a phrase, he gives a certain return, and that's how you know. It's when you go up to him and say, those are bad for you. And he says, yeah, but I can't quit my brand. Each of you nod in turn to the agent. This is your contact. None of you have met him before. He looks to be nervous, and he as you come up, you give the phrase. He gives the passphrase. He says, he's like, "Oh, over there, there's a bench. It's quiet." And like kind of a little bit to the side, there's a bench, kind of away from, far enough away that you wouldn't be heard and whatnot. Who shows up first, do you think?
Benedict is always on time.
He's always on time. All right, Benedict's there. You see him. He's there. He looks like he's about 35. I mean, he's like a little bit overweight, and he looks really nervous, and he is just smoking up a storm. Like there's a small pile of butts. It looks like he's just been chain smoking here.
And he pops up. Hello, chat. Yeah, this accent is going to evolve drastically as we go through it. But
let's freaking do this.
Let's see. We might go to the south. Might go to the north. No, those things are bad for you.
He looks at you. He's like, kind of looks you up now. He's like, yeah, but I just can't quit my brand. Over there. You're the first one.
All right then, chat.
And then
Just goes and sits down by the bench.
I guess I'll say like maybe Benji shows up next.
No, Benji's going to be last because he's been walking to Overton Park, which is located in Memphis. So it's going to take him a little bit to make the round trip.
All right, so he's gonna turn back from Memphis, Tennessee, hopefully at some jump. What about Hank? So let's say Hank shows up then.
He's walks up. You said it was sweating. He's got a cowboy hat on. He's fanning himself with it, and he sees the guy over there, and he walks up. Says, "Well, howdy there, partner. You know those things are bad for you, don't you?"
He looks at you and says, "Yeah, I just can't quit my brand. Over there. Just
Alrighty.
we got one more coming."
All right.
So yeah,
And I walk over there to where Benedict is.
yeah.
Benedict just stares straight ahead.
He just stares straight ahead.
Your acknowledgement.
Oh, are we gonna do okay? Well, howdy there, partner. Man, it's hot out here. I'm a little too pooped to pop. What about you?
He just stares at him. Just gives him a one over, and then just carries on staring straight ahead. Nothing.
So about that time Benji makes it back. You realized before you booked a ticket and flew to a different city, you realized that it was supposed to be Washington Square Park.
Yeah. So he shows up. His baggy tan suit is like travel stained, sweat drenching down him because he had to walk to the airport, and then he realized, he's like,
Hey, can I burn the smoke?
He's at first he doesn't like, he kind of looks at you, goes like, yeah, sure, man, here, and he hands you one.
Benji just looks at the cigarette. He's like,
Well, dang it.
he starts patting down his pockets, and then he takes out a piece of paper and I was like,
Okay, you know those things are bad for you.
He goes, oh, yeah, I just can't quit my brand. Put that away. Jesus Christ.
back in his pocket.
Just get rid of... Shit. Oh, just come on. And he walks over to like where the other two are waiting. While you're over there, he's like, burn that. What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Fuck. Sit down. And we'll say that you guys like sit like actually one like the picnic table rather than just like a bench where two of you can sit down. He sits down. He's waiting. He says, all right. I'm Agent Marcus. But before you guys start, I believe that none of you have been activated before, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
That seems to be correct.
All right. I'm just to let you know, these code names, they're for your protection. I mean, you do what you gotta do, but don't. They're for your protection. Anyway, like if you guys introduce yourselves, code names.
Well, I guess I'll start. I'm Agent Meetcha, as in pleased.
And he sticks out his hand for a handshake.
He's handing us papers with the code name on it?
No.
Oh, we already know it.
Yeah, you already know your own code name. Yeah.
Okay.
He'll just kind of stick his hand out to whoever wants to shake it.
Much obliged. My code name is Molasses.
Slow and steady.
All right, and you?
Matador, chaps. Matador.
All right. So, all right, here's the situation. Okay. So you guys have been activated because we've got some records. There was something came across through some FBI channels. That's who you're going to be going as, is FBI. Came out that there was this operation is called Operation Alice, ALICE. Basically, the FBI was going through some stuff, and one of our contacts saw something in a case file, and a symbol or something that's associated with some type of demonology or something bad. He's sweating. He keeps, he's like looking around. He's obviously paranoid, and they basically, we need to investigate. I need you guys to go in, investigate, like if something unnatural is going on, and if it is, like we got to get to the bottom of it and handle it. Okay? Like it, I don't have to tell you guys like the kind of shit that's at stake here, And he's like looking around, like like maybe like some kids run by, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit as they do. The investigation was all about this woman who went missing. Her name is Abigail Wright, WRIGHT. It's a woman in her 20s. I've got some information for you. And he pulls out a manila envelope from the briefcase and slides it across. He says, and there's some other stuff in there for you too. There's some credentials for you guys. He looks to Agent Molasses. He says, "Molasses, you're being temporarily deputized to the FBI's field office here in New York. You're being brought in, and you other two have completely you guys are being brought in as experts, but under fake aliases. All the information is in there. You've got badges and all that stuff. There's and he pushes the briefcase across. It's like got some sidearms and stuff in there for you guys. The stuff you need to be official. But yeah, there's some other stuff in there. Don't look at it here. Don't look at it here. Maybe one of you goes to reach for the case. No, not here. Not in the park. Christ's sakes. There's a location I've got for you. It's a bit of a burner location that you guys can kind of treat as a headquarters. That it's in an abandoned building. It's going to be demolished soon, but it should serve as a decent base of operations. There should be no one really in or out. Kind of give you a place to go, and kind of to organize things for yourselves. Yeah. Do you guys have? Do you have any questions?
Well, I'm a believer in everything, but this is a little too much. Demons. What kind of symbol are we talking about? Why are we jumping to demons?
I don't know. It's an occult symbol, occult demonology, whatever. It may be nothing. It may be nothing. Most of these operations end up being nothing. But it's just there's a symbol in the evidence that seemed to make people think.
As long as I don't show up in the desert buck-ass nude again, I guess I'm game. What is your what should we call you in case we need to contact you?
I'm Agent Marcus. Agent Marcus.
Well, it's not as cool as our names, but I guess I'll call you that.
Yeah, it's also a lot easier to use in typical, normal, everyday conversation. Come on.
How about inputting? I like that.
No, that's not even. That's dumb.
Like a dash.
Who would think that? The kind of person who would even think that is dumb.
All right. No need to get rude.
But you in there is a contact number for me. Call and leave a message on the answering machine. I'll get back to you. But
after we look at it,
don't. Well, like if you need to contact me.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't leave any messages that are sensitive. Okay.
I think I get the gist of this.
Well, Marcus, you've been right proper useless, but thank you for showing up.
What? Look, I'm gonna be frank with you. All right, I'm gonna be frank with all three of you. Like, I don't want to know anything more than what I need to know. All right, like if you need something or need like an answer question, a question answered or whatever, like you contact me. But this shit needs to stay compartmentalized. This is dangerous. I don't know.
Well, listen, Marcus, if you have something you're not telling us, as the three agents on.
There's more in the briefcase, but don't look at that here. Like he hands you a piece of paper with an address on it, for the burn site. That's just like that's what he calls it, the burn site. Here's the burn site that you guys can go to. Take the information, look at it there. Like lock up behind yourselves, that kind of thing. There's a key in there too, to get you in the. It's an old apartment building. It's run down. It's gonna be destroyed soon.
Can Benji roll a human on Marcus?
Yeah, absolutely.
He seems like more nervous than he should be, even given the circumstances.
That is
fumble.
A 99, which is a fumble.
The first roll of the game. The fucking fumble.
Wow.
A fumble, yeah. So it's like this guy, like his energy and everything, and you start to wonder. It starts to go through Benji's head, like, wow, maybe I should be afraid too. Like, who is he so afraid of?
He's like,
sir, is there something we ought to know in particular? You seem a little bit jumpy, and I'm not gonna lie, it's making me a little bit jumpy.
It's just like the look, it's not. There's something else going on here, like another agency. Like, I don't know if you don't think you guys were followed, do you?
I mean, I drove a long way. I don't think so. As he looks around to all the weirdos in the parking the park.
Benji's definitely like looking around and like super paranoid now as this guy's attitude takes hold on him.
I just like I said, I don't know, like whatever's going on here. You guys need to go to this apartment, where the symbol is. You've got an FBI cover to help with their investigation, right? So you got to make sure, he's looking around. He's like, find out if there's anything unnatural going on. If there is, got to get rid of it. Like, you got to cover it up. Also, like, you got to give the FBI something, or like, really all they want you to do is go in there and catalog the evidence, but don't catalog the stuff that they don't need to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do that. Like, the case is already cold, pretty much. Like, it's just
don't you worry, Marcus. We're gonna take care of this. We're gonna dust it under the rug and nail that rug to the ground.
I'd like that. I'd like that, because he is sweating. profusely. Like he is losing his shit. And he's like, Benji, seeing that you're so sympathetically wired now, give me like a an alertness.
What does Benji have in alertness? A 20. Let's see what happens.
Alright, that's a 49
Failure.
over 20. A failure. Well, Benji, as you're doing this and you're kind of looking around, like you notice something that's kind of grabs your attention. Over by the fountain, you see what looks like a street performer. But it looks like it must be like it's a clown. Someone dressed as a clown. This like the ruffled neck and this like jester's hat and this mask, and they look like the size of a child. Like they're small. They don't look like a dwarf or anything. Like they look like they're proportional, and they're dancing this slow, methodical dance. And they have like a stick, and at the end of it, there's a streamer with a white dragon, and dancing slowly, methodically, and sitting in front of the dancer, in front of the clown, is a record player, like an old antique-y looking record player, and you can just barely make out the notes of this odd song. Like it's odd, and it's like it's slow and droning, and the dancer's slowly like flicking it around and like moving the dragon around, and there are people kind of around, just like kind of they seem to be kind of taking in the oddity of it. It's and as you're looking over there, you see that there are like some people are like seem to be like quite interested, and there's like you see some kids crying, like and pointing at the clown, like maybe a little bit disturbed by it, and things like that.
Yeah, upon seeing that, I think, so Benji has, under mental disorders, he has catatonia. And I think when he sees this, like, eerie scene, the first symptom of his catatonia is everything goes, like, into a grayscale. Like, not black and white, but everything sort of dims down in tone. And everything becomes flat. Like, if you've ever seen a solar eclipse, that's kind of how it looks. Everything goes, like, cold and flat and gray. And he's just like,
Guys, I think we need to get out of here. We need to get.
Yeah, and you feel something like really deep inside you kind of tighten up. Like you feel nervous, you feel danger.
yeah.
We need to make like a tree and get.
Agent Marcus, he's like, fuck. All right, you have the information. I gotta go. And he gets up. He gets up and kind of like starts like briskly walking like over the grass, like a different direction, like just away from you guys.
What a positively useless git.
Yeah, this is a strange park. We should get to this burn site and take a look at this package. And I guess we can go that way.
Anywhere's
Yeah,
better
I'm
than here.
Yeah, Benji, as you look back, it looks like the crowd's kind of dispersed, and you don't see the clown.
Oh, he'll see him in his nightmares.
It's a good place to keep clowns. All right. So you guys head out, and you go to the burn site that he described. It is just an unremarkable, like kind of older, rundown apartment building. That you guys have a key to the front door and to one of the apartments inside. If you would please reference roll 20, you will see what we are working with here.
Yes. Missing artist prompts new fears in the Kips Bay. Abigail Wright.
You can
The
zoom
New
in.
York Post.
This is just in the apartment wall.
This is part of the information that you guys have in
okay.
in the briefcase. And once you guys get there, and so like I was telling you earlier, with Roll20, you guys know those conspiracy boards with the red string?
Yep.
Yep.
That's what's
I'm going to be
on.
giving you guys assets. I'm going to be giving you guys these pictures. And you can put them on this wall as you see fit. And drawing your own
Okay.
conclusions and putting string between them, draw lines between them, and make the connections you
Ooh.
want, so that you can keep track with
I like
what
that a
you.
lot.
We can
But
move them
so
around.
far, this is what we've got. We've got inside the briefcase, you have credentials for all you guys. They have other made-up FBI names, but let's not get in the nitty-gritty and get too confused with fake names on fake names, because that's just too much. So if you guys just want to go by, like, we will assume that your FBI credentials have normal people's names on them, and not your bizarre pseudonyms, and that when you're interacting with people, even when you say my name's Agent whatever, but the idea is that you guys don't even know who each other really are, right? And that's a method to protect you from each other, in a way.
Okay.
But inside of
Gotcha.
your temporary FBI badges and credentials, you all have an awareness that these are good enough, but with too much scrutiny, they will fall through. Like, they will come up as being fake. It's 1995, so things are a little easier to fake.
Yeah.
You have the New York Post article, and you have a police file on the Abigail Wright case. You have an address for a place called the McAllister Building, which seems to be where Abigail Wright lives, the apartment that Agent Marcus mentioned. You have a fresh, brand newly copied key to Abigail's apartment. And you have the pictures that you see up there of Abigail Wright. The Polaroid, the selfie that she took of herself, is the most recent photo. Were they called
but
selfies
the whole
in 95?
Yeah, weird. She was ahead of her time.
Right.
So, but it's called the case was called Alice, according to Delta Green, or only Delta Green, or what?
Operation Alice is the Delta Green name for it.
Okay.
This case is a New York case.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was wondering if Alice was an acronym.
It's not as far as you
know.
Fun fact: before I even knew anything about the case, I wrote down that one of my bonds was Wendy Wright. That's the professor whose name I hadn't come up with, and I spelled her name the exact same way, Wright. So take that as yeah.
Cut the stream off. This is getting weird.
It's getting too bad.
All right. So what does this say? So, missing artist prompts new fears in Kips Bay by Raymond Diaz. For those who knew artist Abigail Wright, her disappearance from her Kips Bay co-op around June 4th is a mystery. Authorities have been frustrated in their efforts to find the young woman, last seen near her apartment in East 32nd Street and 2nd Avenue. According to the source family with the case, earlier leads have collapsed. A month on, Chief Detective Graham Gernanda says that NYPD is no closer to locating Wright. The source also said a strange and disturbing collection of items have been found in Wright's apartment, including medical supplies, books, and machinery. Wright's neighbors maintained that all is fine with her and nothing indicated that she was in danger or planning to leave. Her apartment was locked from the inside. A rise in break-ins, muggings, and assaults in the neighborhood prompted youth leader Anthony Scott to comment, "It is well known in the neighborhood that after 5 p.m. the sidewalks roll up and the police are nowhere to be found, particularly on foot." Scott says that the people walking around after dark in the area are watching their backs, or should be. Okay.
And Benji thumbed through the documents and tried to find a picture of this symbol. When he heard demonology, his ears perked up. He might know something about it. That's like his thing.
There is nothing in the file that you have. So what you're looking at is the NYPD file. And from what you're able to gather is the reason that this isn't even an FBI case at all. So let's just knock this stuff out real quick. She was last seen 4 days before she's reported missing on June 4th. Is when she was reported missing. The last time she was seen was on the 1st of June. Her father is a county police officer, and he was able to pull some strings with NYPD to get the case pushed forward, basically. She'd been living there for quite some time, for a few years, and she is some type of local artist, is all you can really gather. And that the New York Times, or the New York Post article kind of gave you that impression as well. The reason that this is an FBI case is because 2 months after her disappearance, on the 4th of August, her credit card was unexpectedly used in Maryland. And so it was assumed that, oh, this must be a kidnapping case then, so let's give it to the FBI. From what you can tell in the records, there is nothing much that they were able to dig up from that besides getting it into the FBI's jurisdiction. And then when the FBI got involved, that's when it seems to have tripped Delta Green's radar.
Your credit card was used in Maryland, did you say?
Maryland, yes.
Okay. What kind of artist was she? Do we know?
She's a painter.
Painter. So Jesus, I keep logging out of the Dell screen. I want to take a closer look at this photo that has the blurred light. Can I do like some inspection to see if that light's like hiding something, or there's something? Let's see.
Like if it's something besides just a flash, if it's like an overexposure or something.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have a forensics skill or anything that's specific to photography?
Forensics is 30, but I guess I couldn't use criminology.
Let's use your forensics. So give me a forensics roll. Let's see what we got here.
No modifier, right?
No modifier. All right, 28 under 30. So that's a success. You look at this. You're kind of interested in if there's anything in there. You take a close look, and you're able to actually as you look closer and closer, you're able to realize that it looks like Abigail took this picture in a mirror, and that this is probably the flash of the mirror.
Okay.
And after reading about her being it seems a bit intentional. Maybe she was trying to be artsy with it.
Yeah. Okay.
What was her father's name and what was his occupation? Something about police?
Her father's Thomas Wright, and he is a Nassau County deputy. And Nassau County is like the county up there, where part of New York is, I believe. I think. Don't quote me on that. For the sake of this fiction, it is.
It's a county in Long Island. It might
There you go.
flow over into New York, but yeah.
Well, fellas, I don't know what else.
Yes, I can see them.
Okay.
Oh, you're writing those, Madison? The credit card?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, fellas, I don't know. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I might also want to think about Raymond Diaz, who wrote the article.
Author.
But, yeah. I might be able to. That's something that Benedict might be able to get access to pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do we have phones?
I would say that in this room, like in this like broken down, jacked up apartment building, they're like the lines have all been turned off. Like, there's probably like a single light bulb in here that seems to work, and you're surprised there's any electricity at all. Like the toilets have no water in them. I guess that doesn't mean you can't use them, but
That's grim.
Yeah. So like,
well, fellas, looks like this is our home base for better or for worse. I don't know if I can derive any more information out of this kit. If there are no objections, maybe our first plan action should be to go to her actual apartment and see if anything was overlooked by the authorities.
Yeah, I agree. Seems like it's all we got to go on.
I'll say that it's about 4 o'clock, and damn it, I should have. Well, we're gonna use the kind of same structure we did before, but we're gonna try to avoid using like the Google Doc to put out the 4-hour blocks. We're gonna try to track it a little more.
Oh god, I'm sick again. And there's people dying every block. Yeah, I don't want to go back to that.
So we'll say it's about 4 o'clock, right? That you guys are here, and so Hank sounds like he wants to head over to the apartment, this place called the McAllister Building, to actually look at the apartment, actually see kind of what your task is, as far as the FBI is concerned, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sounds good.
He's on board.
Okay. So yeah, and we're gonna say by the way, we're gonna say it's a Thursday. So you guys head over. It takes you, probably takes you about an hour to go over there, especially at 4 o'clock. Things are getting a little bit busy. It's not that far. Like I said, again, I don't know dick about New York, so I don't know how hard it is to travel by the subway or whatever, wherever you're going. I don't know. So, but you guys make it. We'll say about by like 5 or so. You guys make it to the McAllister Building, which is where she's supposed to have lived. Now, I'm going to drag something down for you here. Let's see, whoop, that's not the right one. Do you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is the blueprint for the McAllister Building.
Enhanced.
Yep. And you guys can see written on it, specifically is on the ground floor, in the bottom right of the ground floor, is Abigail Wright's apartment. That's where her apartment's located. And you guys would have read in the files that, obviously they had asked all the neighbors if they had seen her, and that they've been in there. The FBI and the NYPD have been in there a few times. And the people whose names are listed there, those are all her neighbors. Abigail lives on the bottom store. It's like an old brownstone. It's 3-story, and it's like, it's not, you don't think it's run down, but you think it might be getting there. It looks like it's about time for a freshen up or so. As you come in the front door, which is this stairwell here, like that's the front steps to get in. You go down a long hallway, which gets you to the long hallway that's between the individual apartments, and then you walk up the stairwell. And at the top of the stairwell, it goes like to roof access. There's a basement that's pretty small. But yeah, so you just tell me what you want to do and what questions you have about this space.
Well, I vote that we skip the apartment altogether and go straight to the basement. It's always in the basement.
No, Benji's gonna. We have the key to the apartment, right?
Yes, you have the key to the apartment, and it's like it also gets you in the front door, because it's one of those buzzers. You buzz in to get to the. You buzz in to ask someone to open the front doors for you. But you have
Yeah.
a key, so you can get in.
Right.
If we're going into the apartment, Benji's main goal is to keep his eyes open for this symbol, this problematic symbol. That's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Benedict will not join the party, and he'll go and he's walking through and he spots the old telephone nook, and he goes straight for the telephone nook and he says, "Fellas, I need to make a phone call," and he heads off, and he's going to try and find out who Mr. Diaz was and how to get in contact with him.
Okay. And it's and funnily enough, this is an old enough building to 100% have the phone nook. Like before phones were in every apartment, and there's probably still a phone in there.
Yeah.
Who's Mr.
Okay.
Diaz?
Boy, are we in her apartment now?
In the building, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Diaz wrote the article, so
Okay.
I think Benedict's hoping to get some details, maybe talk to this person.
Wait, the author of the article lives here?
No, not that I know of.
I thought you said that.
That would be a twist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, so
I think bureaucracy. I think this is trying to redeem Johan's failed attempts at having any phone calls or any supplies delivered except for bags of beans.
your skill in, because you have a journalism skill, don't you?
Right. Yeah.
I would say either use your bureaucracy skill or use your journalism skill, because you have some clout. You know how the world of journalism works. All right, that's a 71 over 60. So how does that phone call go when you call over to the New York Post?
So he picks up the phone, dials a number. Jeremy. No, I don't care. No, I don't care. Jeremy, listen to me. I need you to get in contact with this man. No, Jeremy, we'll talk about that later. Yes, okay. No, all right, I'm sorry. Okay, Jeremy, don't cry. I will talk to you later. All right. Okay, bye.
It's always like, how many grandmothers does this guy have? And
No,
how
this is-
often do
this
they?
is his PA.
And how often do they sick? How are they sick? Because that's all Jeremy's ever talking about is how sick his grandmother is. All right.
He seemed a bit upset. Back we go.
All right. Is Hank gonna go with Benji then?
Where?
Are you guys
into
heading
the
straight to
apartment?
the apartment?
Yeah, I think
Well-
Benedict is going to be hung up on that telephone nook for a bit.
I was thinking maybe we could all go to the apartment, look around for any demon nonsense, and then split up and interview each of the individual residents.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, let's just go to the apartment and see what we see.
All right. You get to the apartment, like I said, and it's there's like a carpet runner that runs down the middle of the hallway, and you get to Abigail's door, pop the key in, and open it up. And you are, especially keeping in mind what you had read some of the reports that some of the reports stated that her apartment was in disarray and cluttered, like some type of hoarder and stuff like that. And so, which sounds odd for, what sounds like a typical kind of like a 20-year-old artist living in New York. As you open up the door, it is not necessarily like a hoarder where there's just things piled to the ceiling. It is junked. Every horizontal surface is covered with pieces of different things. Like some of it looks to be straight up trash, like papers and cans and little trinkets, and like there's a screwdriver over there, and like, what is this? Is this a part of a boiler? Like, everything is around. There are clothes all over the floor, and all over the walls and the ceilings are a bizarre array of just seemingly random objects that are epoxied and glued to every surface all around. I mean, it's hard to make out, like, as you look at it all, it seems like there is some type of like artistic pattern maybe that you can vaguely see in it, but you start to wonder really quickly how mentally well this person might have been. There are things on the walls, like some of the things look like it looks like maybe the police were in here before. Maybe they had pulled some of this stuff off the wall, but it seems like most stuff that gets pulled off damages it because it's like super glued to the wall. There's like and almost everything has been taken down, but there still is on the wall. There's like a radio and a tape player and a Walkman. Looks like they've been pulled down, but everything else has been left up there. It's just like bizarre stuff, like papers with little scratchings, like little pieces of newspapers and magazines and whatnot. There's no furniture. It looks like everything is oddly gone. It seems to be it's weirdly bare. There is a TV and a VCR, but that's it. Like, that seems to be all that is in here that you would consider to be furniture. Yeah, and so you guys are in this just bizarre, weird, like, it almost feels like some type of weird shrine. Like, it's just like this whole apartment has devolved into something else. In the middle of the floor is decently bare, decently clean. In the middle of the floor, there is a box. It's one of those like office boxes that files would be stored in. And it says, evidence, FBI White Plains, Right A, 10 August 1995. It's got a bunch of Polaroid cameras in it. It's got glove, evidence bags, stickers, and sealing tape, and a blank manifest for evidence. And you guys have been told that kind of your FBI cover job is to go in here and categorize and catalog this entire weird apartment of this woman who's been missing. And I mean, you're looking at it and you all get the impression that this was a job that no one wanted to do because this place is so junked.
Yeah, Benji looks around the apartment and shakes his head, and he's just like,
Mama always said that horizontal surfaces are clutter magnets.
And is there any... He's still just looking for that symbol. Like, what stuck out to whatever Delta Green agent? So, like, what's problematic in here?
It's you don't. That's the problem. Like, you don't even know. There's so much here that you think you have to go through it to even find what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah. The stuff epoxied all over the apartment is what jumps out to me the most. It's like some sort of weird art installment. Like, what if Benji just kind of takes a step back and tries to take it all in as one cohesive piece and see if there's a pattern in the chaos?
Okay. Yeah, if you want to do that, then give me... I don't even know what would be relevant there. Because your art skill is toward music, so I don't think that'd be... I would say if you want to give me either an intelligence or an art skill minus 20.
Maybe anthropology.
That's not a bad idea.
Understand the person.
Would occult be applicable?
Occult very well may be applicable. It is Delta Green after all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll an occult. See if these items like make some sort of symbol or something. Let's see.
Okay.
Got a crit.
A critical 55 under 60. As you're looking around, you hear a knock at the door.
Yeah, Benji will walk over and open it.
You open it and you see the face of a man who is wearing a NYPD police jacket. That is him right there. You may do with him as you see fit. This is Detective Guardanda. That is Guardanda. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but that is him. It's Detective Guardanda. He sees you guys there. And he's like, hi. He's like, guys, sorry. They told me you guys were coming. He puts out his hands like, Guardanda, NYPD. I'm the one. I was kind of covering this shit show. And he looks past you guys. He's like, eesh. What, you guys pull a short straw down at the bureau or what?
That's right, we sure did.
Looks back, seeking encouragement.
Yeah.
Well, Guardanda, this just beats all I've ever seen. I mean, maybe I'm out of touch, but this girl looks madder than a wet hen.
Well, that's, I mean, whatever happened to her, I mean, if you could find anything, I mean, the only reason this is with you guys is, I'm gonna shoot straight with you, is her father is, you know, he's almost at retirement for county, and he's been pulling a lot of strings to try to get this done, you know, and then, I don't know, like, if you guys find anything in this, he just kind of looks around, he's like, I'm gonna be surprised. But if NYPD if you need anything from NYPD, I'm your contact man. You know, he gives you his phone number and whatnot of his office, or maybe he gives you a pager number. He probably carries a pager, so it's like, as you know, if you need to get a hold of me for anything.
We don't want to. We thank you for your help, and we don't want to press the father too much. This is trying times, but can I inquire about his general disposition besides being overall generally upset at the situation? And can I roll something? Or does it even matter?
I don't think unless you want to press him for something specifically. He's pretty open to talk about that, talk about the case. Okay. He doesn't seem to be holding anything back. He says, like, I've heard from some guys down at county that he's coming apart at the seams. He's losing it. I mean, hell, it's his daughter, right? You know, it's, you know, you spend an entire career, you know, hunting down other people's kids who've, you know, have been killed or worse, and, you know, and then never imagine it happened to you, right? And then not to have any answers.
It just beats all.
Yeah.
But well, thank you for your time. Does anyone else have anything they would like to ask the lieutenant, Benedict, or Benji?
Detective.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you have any leads on what happened to little Abigail, little Abby?
No. Unfortunately not. I mean, she was seen, you know, here near the building by some people in the neighborhood, you know, a few days before she's reported missing.
Don't have any theories? Just any conjectures?
Well, from all this, and he kind of points past you, he's like, I don't know, I mean, maybe she had some type of psychotic break and got herself herself wrapped up in something. I mean, you never know. She might turn up, might turn up in the Hudson.
Good
Something.
God.
Who knows? We really have nothing. Like when we got that credit card hit, like that, oh, we're gonna find her. That's not so much. Like I'm
I
gonna
get
be
it. You
frank.
must be real busy.
Well, it's not that we're too busy.
You got a
It's
lot going
just
on. No, I get it.
no, it's not that. It's just we don't have anything to go off of. Like we've scoured. Like we thought that maybe she had fallen into human trafficking or something. Young pretty girl. That's and we really beat down all the leads in Vice. It's no evidence she was involved with drugs or anything really. I mean, she's just like, I mean, I don't know if I want my kid to go off to be an artist necessarily, but I mean, as far as I can tell, she's a normal girl. She's not unsuccessful as an artist, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Detective,
One last.
does DNA testing exist right now?
It does, but it's not nearly as good as it would be in the 2020s.
Okay, lots of flaws and kinks need to be worked out. I
Yeah, it
gotcha.
takes a long time to get back in '95, mainly
In the
due to
current year,
yes, and this year, 1995. Yes,
right, this year that we're in.
yeah.
All right, I withhold further questions.
Benedict will come storming back into the room because he's been outside this whole time. Says, hello. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Guirdanda, NYPD.
Oh, very good, very good. Questions. The apartments around here, did you interview all the people around and did anybody know Abigail?
It sounds like they all knew her, knew of her at least. It's
Who did you speak to?
everyone, everyone in the building, all of her neighbors.
Very good. Very good. Very competent work. Well done. Detective? Lieutenant?
A detective, fine. I appreciate the promotion, but detective's fine.
Very good. Well, I thought I was dealing with somebody a little bit higher up, but this is fine. You will do. Do you know where Abigail presented her artworks?
I don't have that info on me. Like I did run down that just to kind of see what some of her associations were and whatnot. I have that information. I'll have to get it to you from the office though.
Well, I get it, detective. I understand. That would be spectacular. We will get back in touch with you.
Yeah, I'll get someone to drop that
information out.
I'll get someone to drop it off, or I'll drop it off here for you tomorrow morning.
Well, it looks like we'll be here a while, so that'll do. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks
you
like
can
you guys
go now.
That guy, what? Thank you for that. I guess. Good to be of service to the bright shining stars of the FBI who have been given this arduous fucking task. So
My mama
yeah.
always said if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Let's get to work.
Yeah, it's good. It's good advice. He kind of looks Benedict up and down. He's like, "All right, I'll leave you folks to it. I got it."
Much obliged. So
It's so difficult to play like this. Big a dick.
It's just so
Hank is
unnatural.
I can't.
Hank is not like looking at the big picture so much, like trying to find some like artistic pattern, or he's just like looking at the items and like if anything individually looks odd off, and I guess he'll go straight to the bathroom and I'll roll something to just He wants to look for any medication, primarily, like any indicator that she might have been mentally unstable.
So
Smart.
the way that everything is here is that everything is so so dense. Everything, the junk is so disorganized that you're going to have to spend a significant amount of time looking into this. You're going to have to spend a significant amount of time actually digging into this to try to find anything individually interesting. It's not just going to be going, I want to go in the bathroom and search the medicine cabinet and do that. Like, I will tell you if you that's want to be a part of it. Like, I'll go ahead and tell you, like, you don't see anything in there that's interesting. You know, there's no like antipsychotics
Find it.
with her name on them.
Okay. To
Like,
find
it's nothing
anything
like that.
interesting, we're gonna have to spend a long time.
You guys are gonna have to spend some time. Somebody give me a bureaucracy or like an intelligence roll to try to figure out how long this is gonna take.
Just a straight
Paperwork.
intelligence.
Yeah. That is a 93 over 60.
Should I roll
and a
one too?
90 over 50. Yeah, you can.
I'll do bureaucracy.
What happened
Just
with
a
that
raw
critical
intelligence check?
occult success?
A raw intelligence,
What?
yeah.
What happened with that critical occult success? Somebody knocked on the door.
Don't worry, I'm not forgetting.
Okay.
I figured. Yeah,
Another
come
failure.
around.
So you guys are looking at all this, and you don't like. It's still kind of hard to figure out exactly how long this is going to take. But like you're like, God, this is probably going to take a few days of work. It's probably the
Lord.
best you can really come up with.
Well, boys, I don't rightly want to spend time through all this backtracking the fine NYPD have done. I obviously want to find what's going on with this girl, but our primary objective is to find anything supernatural, and I don't believe it's here.
Well, there is one strange thing that stuck out to me in that article. That said something about machines. What would an artist be doing with machines?
Oh no,
Uh,
she's got a bunch of junk. It looks like the majority of this would not be naturally occurring in an artist's apartment.
This man can be a junky place. You don't know.
If you guys want to start digging through what is here, you're gonna have to dedicate a few hours to it, and you're gonna have to make some rolls.
I think we
Do y'all
have
want
to,
me
right?
The,
Now,
I guess we
that's
have
where a
to.
search.
like the
I mean,
FBI
no,
books of stuff.
but that doesn't mean that you can't. But there are other things that can be investigated that don't have to occur inside this room.
Benji, for one, will roll his sleeves up and get to it.
Okay, so he can do that while I go to like talk to someone else in the apartment, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just metagaming a little bit, he did get something on the occult thing, so there is something to see in this apartment. But what do you think? What do you think, Benedict? You want to leave him to this, and we look around a bit?
Yeah, this work is not for me. Let's go find something or someone else.
Good
We'll
luck.
leave.
I'll be here if you need me. All right, where do we start?
Well, could we? There was the box of FBI stuff. That was just like their short list of items, or was there? Did we look at that already or not?
That's the
box
first
was
thing that
just-
Benji threw away.
The box with the FBI stuff. That was the stuff you need to catalog and collect evidence.
I see.
It's
So
like-
those are like the tools that Benji's going to use now.
Yeah, that's basically the stuff that was like dropped off by the FBI for you
Got
to
it.
use.
They're like bags and big old Sharpies.
Yeah, shit like that.
Okay.
Benedict kicks it over and goes and joins Molasses outside.
Throw it over.
It's so needlessly vindictive.
All right. So it sounds like is Hank going to talk to neighbors?
I think he will.
All right, Hank wants to talk to some neighbors. Benedict
Because
wants
he knows.
to.
Okay, go ahead.
Benedict will join, talking to
Benedict will
neighbors.
join, and then Benji wants to do the same, or wants to search a little bit.
Yeah, he's gonna search the apartment.
Okay.
He's gonna
So,
clean.
all right. So, what we're gonna say is that we're gonna do it like in two splits. Benji's gonna be doing some looking, and then you guys are gonna do some going around and talking to the different people. So, who do you guys want to talk to, or which apartment do you guys want to go to first?
I'm gonna say, as me and Benedict are walking out, it's a grim thing, but in all my years, when someone goes missing, it's normally someone that person knew that did the act. Now, I don't rightly want to believe the father's doing anything about this. And the damnedest thing is, we haven't heard any mention of friends this girl had. So the next step is a neighbor. At least that's my logic. And he's going to just go to the first door that's closest to her, which would be, I guess, Roger.
Rogers.
Is that Karun?
Yeah, that'd be. We're gonna say Karun.
Karun?
We're gonna say Roger Karun. All right. So you guys go down to Roger Karun's door, and you give it a knock. About that time, Benji is just really starting to get into this. Benji, give me a roll for Benji, a search roll. As Benji starts to get into this, so he starts to dig through all this junk. I mean, and it is extensive.
Oh my God, Benji.
Is Benji sucking? 41 over 40. All right. Benji,
Wow.
you're looking
So close.
through this stuff, and as you go, because these other two guys leave, right? And as they do so, you're in this apartment kind of alone, and every now and then you start to hear, you think you hear something that almost like static, like you think it's like coming from one of the piles, like a radio that's like in a between two stations, and you start to hear it, and you go over, and but as you shift through it, you don't, there's nothing there. Like there's like, you see like there's like a CD player and like some stuff like on the walls, and like some of the stuff's been torn down. But you go and like it's just like it's a pile of papers, or it's like a pile of crumpled up clothes, or like an old Coke can or something like that. And you do this like 3 times, and you end up really not getting a lot done. Like you end up not, because you're kind of like chasing this noise around.
Here's the static, and he might like hear a little bit of snippet of that clown song, and then just like shiver. Like maybe that's what throws him off. Flashbacks of the clown.
Give me a sanity check. Then
Oh,
if you want to take it there.
Gladly, partner. Do I just click on sanity points?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think you should be glad you didn't find anything. That's my vote.
Failed. Another failure.
74 over 52. I mean, Benji's already coming into this whole situation a little bit frazzled from what happened at Clarksdale. So take 1 sanity point, 1 damage from helpless, and then make sure to tick one of your helplessness boxes.
Oh, we haven't been ticking the failures as well. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Also, make sure to look. You can take a look at the chat log real quick. If there's anything you fail, make sure you tick it.
So many failures.
Yeah, I forgot about that as well.
So yeah. All right. You two, the other two, Benedict and Hank, you guys knock on the door, and you see you were answered by Roger Caroon. He comes to the door. He is actually. Let me see. I think I actually have something. Yes, I do. Let me just do this real quick. So I have everything I put down. I have to give permission for you guys to move it. Every single token that I put down. So we're gonna say is drawing.
That's super cool. I think the effort is
So yeah,
worth
that
it.
is that's Roger Caroon right here. He lives just down the way from. He lives just down the way from old Abigail.
All right.
He's got mad serial killer vibes.
Yeah.
He comes to the door, and actually, real quick, I would say. Benedict, give me a journalism roll. That is a 4 under 60. Benedict, you saw the name. You saw the name. You know this guy. You don't know him personally. You know of him. He is the popular of a sci-fi series called Night Sea. It was like, it wasn't that popular. Like, he's not like Stephen King or anything, but he's like, I mean, it's gotten some success as a book. You like, I don't know, is science fiction Benedict's kind of jam, or is he above all that?
Would you say he has a cult following, Joe?
Yeah, that ain't.
Without implying anything, we would say there's probably a mild Night Sea cult following. Like, it has its own. Well, sorry, this is 95, so it doesn't have a wiki yet, but it will.
Right there, Roger. Saying that right? Roger, is that how you people say it here?
He's just like, you guys knocked on the door. He's like, yeah, that's not really a word that's typically mispronounced, I guess. Can I help you?
Yeah, you do that Night Sea, Night Wash, Night. Penny Dreadful.
I'm sorry, I don't take fans here. He starts to close the door.
Hold up there.
Jams his foot in the door.
Yeah.
Now, first and foremost, we are FBI agents and investigating the disappearance of the right girl. But Benedict, you know this man?
His name rings a bell, but now that I met him, doesn't actually. It's not worth mentioning.
He's 43. He's pretty overweight. Like, he looks to be wearing he's wearing just a t-shirt and a pair of shorts with a bathrobe over it. He looks to be pretty comfortable. He's like, well, yeah, can I is there anything I can do to Abigail, right? Like, Abigail Wright. She you guys still haven't found her? FBI? Wow.
Well, we're not at liberty to.
Hold on real quick. I think we might have lost Dace. Dace, maybe you can reconnect if you can still hear us? I don't know.
Yeah, good catch.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Yeah. Damn. I hate to go on without him.
Did you text him?
I'm going to. see. That's what you really need in the middle of a stream, too. Just a real nice slowdown.
I see.
Right.
So difficult. Just about to dismiss this guy. Be like,
right.
Molasses, this is what a failed writer looks like. You know?
It's a failed
Fucking-
writer.
Just to this person's face.
I feel like maybe Dace's phone went dead. That's probably what happened.
Should be. I thought he was on his iPad though.
Oh yeah, already that went dead. Well, it's like, I don't know. Does
Here we go.
yeah, here he is. He's back.
Hello.
Sweet. Much better.
Did you go dead?
My internet fucked up. I had to reset my hotspot and close Discord and all that.
Okay. So yeah. So like, I don't know. Like, does Benedict see himself as being like better than a sci-fi writer? Or is it just because he's not successful?
Yeah. Because he's a journalist.
Okay.
He's the editor-in-chief. Yeah. He's got a
Okay.
superiority complex with almost everyone he meets.
Okay. Well, Roger, he tells you, he's like, I already told the detective, the NYPD guy, what I knew. Like, I don't like hang out with Abigail. You know, she's nice.
What do you think about Abigail? Besides, she's nice. I mean, y'all been neighbors for quite a while, have you not?
Oh yeah, like a few years. She's nice. She's an artist. She invited everyone to one of her shows. A lot of people do that. Like they're having something. We try to, as a community, show up for each other.
Roger, do you see yourself as an artist?
Yeah. I'm a writer. What a shitbag. Yeah. I'm a writer. I wrote a series called Night Seas. It's
Yeah, I know about it. I've heard.
A World War II
what kind
epic, is it?
No, it's I would say high science fantasy. Is how
Nazis and science fiction.
No Nazis. I don't know what you're doing. Don't.
Roger, who else do you feel you belong to in this art community? Who else is part of your art community?
I mean, I think, just other writers. Do you guys want to come in, or just are?
Absolutely love to.
Okay, all right. You guys move into Roger's apartment. It is fairly clear that this is a bachelor who has probably not left this place in a while. There are plates and dirty clothes. There's a bit of a smell, and he's.
We notice anything out of the ordinary?
A lot of bottles of alcohol that appear to be anywhere from empty to half empty, kind of scattered about. At the kind of center of everything, he has a TV, and there's a couch with you can definitely tell there's a well-worn spot in the couch. But there, kind of to the side of the small apartment living room, is a desk with a typewriter, and there's a trash can next to it with a great big pile of crumpled up paper in it.
Looks
I think Benedict is going to go over to the desk and help himself to the latest draft of whatever. Just start reading.
There is a piece of paper hanging out of, because it's like an electric typewriter. and there's a piece of paper hanging out top of it. He's like, wait, no. And as you go and you pull it out, and across the top it just says, on the first line, "The."
Been there, buddy.
And he snatches it from you. He's like, I'm not. That's not. This is private stuff. This is my private stuff. I'm working on a new project. I'm trying to work on a new project.
Keep going. You keep going, Roger.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Hank looks around at all the booze and says, well, it looks like you've had a party here, son.
Oh no. No, just me.
Just you. You don't have anyone come over ever?
No. No, not me. No.
The right girl's never been over here, son?
No, nothing like that. No. I would never. I mean, I would never, but I wouldn't. I didn't.
Oh God! Somebody give me a human.
Slow your roll, Roger. We're just here to talk. I mean, you would never what?
We weren't close. You know, she's nice. You know, and she's just my neighbor. You know,
you got to admit, she is a pretty girl, Roger. I'm gonna do a human int.
Okay. All right, that's a 30 under 60.
Nice.
You think that this guy, he's like in his mid 40s. You know, he's like, obviously, this is not the kind of place that gets much. It's probably not the kind of place. He probably hasn't had many women in here. You could he probably, maybe a little bit creepily liked Abigail, but you're not getting a whiff of anything innately vicious or dangerous about him. He seems like a bumbling, shut-in writer.
Mm. Well, I believe you, son, and let me just put it this way. You give us, you tell us the right information and we won't be back to bother you. Now, can you say anything at all in the days leading up to Abigail's disappearance? Anything you've noticed about the apartment, about her, about what was going on outside?
I spend most of my time in here. I go for, and he looks at one of the bottles of alcohol. He's like, groceries. But no, I didn't notice. I just saw her every now and then. Kind of pass by. I mean, we're neighbors. There's nothing. I don't know.
Hank kind of looks at Benedict to see his reaction to all this. See if Benedict has anything.
Super unimpressed. He's still just so fucking callous. Roger, what would you say Atlas's art is? What category?
What category is what art in?
Your neighbor's art that
Abigail.
You seem to be friendly with.
Oh, she was a painter. She's a painter. Modern, new age, some abstract stuff. It's interesting. I mean, I'm a writer, so it's interesting. Lots of young people out there giving it a go. It's interesting.
Okay, at this point, he just looks at Hank and it's like, all right, tap top. This is it.
All right, Roger. If I give you any advice, why don't you get out and get some fresh air every once in a while? And can I get a copy of this Nazi book?
Don't call it that, please. Don't. It's not even about that at all. No, I'm not gonna give you.
You're not going to
Are you
give
guys?
an FBI agent a copy of your book?
It seems like an abuse of power. Gonna be straight with you. Seems like a weird thing. Are you guys done? I've got some writing to do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, son. And he just walks out.
All right, Hank leaves too.
Alright, he shuts the door behind you guys.
I don't know why he wouldn't give me his book. History is one of my favorite topics, especially World War II.
Jesus.
All right. What do you think, Benedict? Should we go to this next neighbor?
After that last neighbor, I feel like this could be a waste of time. But hell, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound.
Okay.
We head over to Thomas Magic.
By that time that you guys finish in Roger's, by the time you finish with Roger, I imagine Benji might be kind of like stepping out of the apartment, maybe like coming out to get some fresh air or something. So maybe Benji might have the opportunity to kind of follow you guys, not to make
Okay.
any rolls, but to kind of at least go with you if you're going to continue to.
Yeah,
Sounds
sure.
good.
Benji will tag.
Yeah, so I feel like Benji needs a break from the search, and also to get some roleplay. So are you guys just going to go to the next apartment, or what do you want to do?
I guess so. Well, Benji, looks like that was a dud. Some kind of city author lives in that apartment. Drinks too much. A little weird. Probably had a crush on the right, but we don't think any foul plays about. You want to take the lead on this, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I can roll anything, but I'll do the talking.
All right, after you.
And he walks up to Thomas and gives a
Like shaving a haircut?
yeah.
Okay. All right. It takes a minute for someone to come in, but after a while, you hear like the chain being unlatched from the door and whatnot, and up his door, it's Thomas Manuel lives here. He's a young Hispanic guy, or youngish Hispanic guy. He's like 26. And he opens the door and kind of peeks out, kind of cautiously. Hello?
Sir Glaze?
Whoa, man. Yeah, and he closes the door.
Well, maybe I should warm him up, Benji. I knock on the door again.
He says, and you just hear from behind the door, "No."
So
FBI, sir.
FBI.
You hear again like the sound of the latch, and this time he opens the door, but he doesn't unchain it. He's like, "What?"
You'll have to excuse my partner over here. He's not well versed in
Oh, so I get to make a complaint to the department then, or to the field office, FBI? Like, really? Thought you guys were supposed to be professionals. Like
Well,
the NYPD jackasses like expect that kind of shit from them, but aren't you guys supposed to be better than that?
Whoa.
You could have just told me that you
Listen.
speak English.
Now, my friend is special. There's no reason for you to lash out at him like that. And another thing, I don't think you're aware of the role here. I do the asking, and you do the answering.
Do you have a warrant?
I'm gonna try to bullshit him. Or can I intimidate him? Try to.
Okay, you can try to give me like a persuade or maybe something like criminology, like kind of thing to try to, or law to try to like convince him that you have a reason, that he has a reason to be compelled to talk to you, though he doesn't.
I'll say that, and I said if you have no respect for the law, at least have some respect for the right girl, and then I'll roll for the persuade.
Okay, so you're gonna make it about Abigail. All right.
Yeah.
That is a 75
Failure.
over 50. And he's like, yeah, I already answered all the questions about Abigail. I haven't seen her. I haven't heard from her. He closes the door.
Asshole. New York asshole. All right. I don't really
Well-
want to.
Well, by the
I don't know
time
how-
by the time all this has happened, like it's about 8 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
So it's
Okay.
getting pretty late. So, I would say that this is probably actually a pretty good time to go ahead and stop. I know Gian says he wants to catch up on some sleep that he's neglected over the past week. And but so you guys have come in. We've gotten our characters kind of squared away. We've done our session 0/1. You guys have an idea of what you're dealing with. That there this disappearance of this right girl, and trying to figure out where she went. And there apparently was something supernatural that you still haven't discerned necessarily. But there are some things that are kind of like a little odd that mostly Benji has experienced thus far. So maybe just Benji's the only one here who's having these experiences. It's just all in Benji's head.
We
We're
need
actually just
to.
here for the NPCs.
Yeah.
We need
Textured
to. Yeah,
NPCs.
definitely take a note that Benji got weirded out by a small clown waving a white dragon flag.
I don't even know if you guys even know about it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we don't. Their characters don't know about it for sure.
Right.
Um,
But yeah. Well, do
So
you guys have a?
stereotypically double green. We've been investigating for an hour and we have fucking nothing.
But we insulted a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I think Benji's like genuinely confused why the guy said hey, he's just like, I was just trying to be friendly. Are we gonna circle back around to that crit on the occult?
I've got something. I'm gonna give you your crit, okay?
This sesh?
Well, nothing came up this sesh. Not what I was planning to do with it.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've made a note.
nice.
Also, something I didn't get a chance to say, but an idea I had while they were talking to the first guy in the apartment, what Benji is looking for specifically, or what he's keeping his eye out for, if he sees some film or that camera, because, you know, she took a picture of herself in a mirror, and, like, if he could find the film roll that came from, like, he would be keeping an eye out for that. So maybe that'll be something that comes up next session.
I got you.
And was there, random question, but was the artwork scrolled onto the ceiling?
You mean like all the stuff that was glued to the walls? Yes,
Yeah.
it's including the ceilings.
Okay.
It's very
That's making me think
three-dimensional,
we
very
might-
experimental. You know.
We might go investigate upstairs as well.
All right.
It's only
Well,
one.
I'm glad you
one
guys
neighbor.
are. It's only what?
Oh, 2 more neighbors. Never mind.
Yeah, there are more neighbors still. So, but yeah, you guys. I'm glad you guys are sufficiently confused thus far about what's happening. So it's like the atmosphere has been established of thus far, just like whoa.
I'm
also
just surprised the girl had
exceedingly
no friends.
confused about my accent. So we'll figure that out.
It'll buff
Yeah,
out.
but you got the personality down. Though, do you consider yourself an artist? Do you think of yourself as an artist?
Well,
And
yeah.
the parting words, and he is like, "I've got some writing to do," and you're like, "Yeah, you do."
Yeah, you do.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah, man. All right, well, that is going to end the stream, at least. So,
Sweet.
for anyone who ever does see this recording, like I said, I expect this whole stream thing to go absolutely nowhere, but thanks for tuning in, I guess.
Self-defeatist.
Yeah, and we'll be doing this again in 2 more weeks, or 2 weeks or so. It's about our typical kind of thing, and try to do another about a 3-hour sit down for it, right?
Right.
Yep,
I'll try to
sounds
have a
good.
more appropriate background.
I think the mushroom thing's kind of fun.
So, what do you guys think Piccolo feels like?
Oh man.